Aloha, my name is Hano Hano Naehu. I'm Kanaka Maoli by blood, Hawaiian by nationality, and Kia'i local by profession. I'm a fish pond guardian, and I'm a guardian of Keawanui fish pond in the Ahupua of Ka'amola, in the Moku of Manae, on the island of Molokai. Aloha Aina is to love all of that which feeds us. Pretty much boiled down to Aloha Aina is the love for our environment and for nature. Aloha Aina here at Keawanui, here on Molokai, is something that we champion, that we take very serious, and that is very close to the core of our being and the essence of our heart. Keawanui is the only fully functioning Hawaiian fish pond on the planet. We've been here since 2000, and we've developed, maintained, and have been guardians of what we'd like to say the hokulea of fish ponds. The first to restart sailing. And one day everybody gonna have fish ponds, and there's so much fish ponds on every island, but Keawanui, was fully functioning since 2004. We had a hiccup. Japan tsunami completely flattened our wall, and it took us 1 year and 4 months, four of us, to restore it, repair it. And since 2011 till now, we've been sitting on a lot of baby fish and, a fish pond that is somewhat working and yet somewhat not. Aloha Aina is something that, for us, is directly connected and related to the Ahupua and the way to manage on Ahupua. The Hawaiians created this way of land management called the Ahupua that goes from the mountain to the sea. And, some permaculturalists said that the Ahupua was the second best agricultural model in human history. It worked. That's the bottom line. And I've been around the world talking about fish ponds and Ahupua, and it's kind of crazy because there are people that says, wow, that is so awesome. Can you show us how to do it? And we're like, oh, no. What I'm telling you guys about happened in our past, and we don't practice it today. And then they're like, why don't you guys practice it today? I said, because America took us over. Westernization took over our Hawaiian people. They took over our government. We're under illegal occupation, and everything is upside down. And they're like, wow, that's sad. I go, yeah. But there are pockets, just like Keawanui, just like Molokai, where we are trying our best to get to a better future. And we believe the better future actually looks more like our past than our present. So like most of all the groups that come through here, once we bring them in, we welcome them to the future. Because in our future that we'd like to see, they're going to be an abundance of food. They're going to be food that we grow, we harvest, we catch, and we don't depend on huge corporations for put all kind of unnecessary things in our food, change it, put poison inside. Our future should look like one place where everybody is able to feed themselves. And if not able to feed themselves, at least have places where they could put their energy into so that they could feed themselves. So Keawanui is our example to the world of what we would like our future to look like. Keawanui is the walk for our talk. And again, we're very proud to say, I'm very proud to say I'm a Hawaiian activist, because the Hawaii I'm looking at right now, that's not our home. And we like go home. And I know we cannot go home until everybody like go home too. So instead of arguing, yelling, protesting all the time, I think this has become a better avenue for us. And that avenue is education. Yeah? If we can prove and we can show to teachers that teach kids that there is a better way, that there are other options, that there are more Pono ways to proceed in life, then I think that's the best way that we could reach out to everybody and to actually make this change happen. So again, we are part of this group, and we brought teachers from Eva, from Lanai, from Molokai, and they brought on student, and we showed them what we know of, not only of Keawanui Fish Pond, but of Aloha Aina. So, yeah, that's what Keawanui and Aloha Aina is to me. And again, for all of you that would love to actually feel, touch Aloha Aina and Keawanui, let us know. Get in touch with us, and maybe Keawanui and Molokai could possibly change your life.
I knew what would make me happy was doing what I was meant to do and what I was born to do, and that was be an artist. So I left my full-time job and I started to design. Not dress like it, but I am a fashion designer. Yeah, so I was the first Molokai-based artist in the Mamo Wearable Art Show. And so my designs were there, and it's really still surreal to me. But that's what happens when you live your dream. So I want to encourage all you guys that you know what you love to do. You know what makes you happy, and you can make a living out of it. You can. So don't let anybody tell you that you can't. And this is really a manifestation of this change that our family has been going through. Hano never realized he was an artist either until he was surrounded by a bunch of artists. Kahale is an incredible musician. Kapili Ula is an amazing visual artist. And I do a little bit of everything. So we wanted to start out with a poem. Ilikea is a great artist. You know, no more choice yet. 1 year old, I put the paintbrush in her hand. And she got it. So I'm really excited to see what will happen in her future. Also, we teach slam poetry at the high school. We service from 7th to 12th grade. And we started a slam poetry team. And last year, we took 2 finalists to the state championship. Kapili Ula was one of them. And she rocked it. I wish she was here right now. So before we go into this, I just wanted to show a little bit of who we are. Okay? Millennia have passed from high atop time's wings of you, unlike any told in false tales. It speaks of warriors, spellcasters, and kings. A legacy of courage, allegiance, and mystical beings. So today we will glide into unknown horizons with these stories as our foundation, with the ability to do more than we ever thought possible. We will ride on time's wings full of hopes and dreams, and as we are lifted to the highest of highest mountains, we will do what is good and overcome all evil. We will battle alongside the royals of old that fought to save this kingdom. We will hold the spears of warriors lost and breathe the wrath of supernatural heroes, because we know together we are prepared to devour enemies and foe, just like the warriors, spellcasters, and kings of old.
Once upon a time, in a land far away, underneath rainbows, lay some green valleys. They made it impossible for our Aupuni, this nation, to huli. They connected us to this Aina for eternity. And our destiny tied to our koko, genealogy. So Kanakas, take heed. I know what we need. Ho'ale ka lepo popolo, Pakui's prophecy.
You feel that? The burn that hurts yet comforts is that indescribable moment when you connect. Connection undisturbed by that threat of suppression is that moment when you look into the soul of this Aina and see your reflection. In the streams, the rivers, the ocean, the soil, and the mountains, and that fluttering heart-shaped leaf. And in its center is your piko. Kapiko ye veo haloa. Is it your belief? Because we're rising with the tides, swelling with the heat of identity loss, ready and willing to die for all this at any cost, because we are ignited by the fires of destruction, not of our own, but of our suppressor. Our pico is not severed, it's merely under pressure. Can you feel the burn? Look around you and spread that light that's been passed to you from those before and after. It's for them that you must fight, because the seeds have been planted. And yes, they grew. But Sante, they still reach for that fire that burns in just a few. So be one of those. Be one of us. Chosen to ignite that fire which burns yet comforts. It's your birthright.
This story I'm talking about was happening when our temples was falling. The Aikapu was broken. Christianity was calling. And our Kuhina Nui made her decision. Wipe out our old Hawaiian religion. Island by island. All the heiaus went fall. They never stop until they burn them all. But then when they reached Molokai, the story, this is how it went. Our kahuna gathered together, held hands, and they sent a pule that would bring our monarchy to its knees. They said, white gon' cover your aina, choke you out like weeds. Hauli kalani, hauli ka ni au pi'o. The heavens gon' fall, na ali left with zero. So maka'e nana. Yep, maka'e nana is what we all gotta be to fulfill the rest of Paku'i's prophecy. And this is on plea to set our aina free, saving a place for our keikis, 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 keikis. Peace out. 7 deep. Kamali'i.
So that was just a little time. Okay. Well, mahalo. Just wanted to give you a glimpse into what we do. What's our fire, our fuel for our fire. But this mural right here, okay, so what happened was these guys were like, the walls were fluorescent green. You can see the remnants of it around the corners for years. And it was like an eyesore. And so these guys kept talking about putting a mirror on the wall, putting a mirror on the wall. I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. And then one day, this friend of mine said, did you ever meet Meliana Meyer? I don't know if you guys know who she is. She's an incredible artist, Native Hawaiian artist. Sisters are Maile and Manu Meyer. And I said, no, but I've always wanted to meet her. So I invited her for dinner here, and we hosted her, and we talked story. And something came over me, and I was like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. I got to make this happen. And she said, so, Maile, what do you do here? And I said, well, I explain what I do. And then she goes, so what do you want to, why do you have me here? She knew, yeah, there was something in the plans. I didn't even know what it was. And I said, I don't know. I mean, have maybe a mural or something here? It's so shame to us. And she was like, all right, let's do it. Like that. Let's do it. What do you want to do? What do you visualize? And I'm like, I don't even know. I've never done this before, And so we kind of worked on it together. And she said, let's do a mural on Molokai. So as a part of the mural, the big mural project, I started this one without her here, but with her guidance as far as the lesson plans and how to do the process. So I got another master artist from Molokai and myself, Koa Kakaio. Not born and raised here, but family from Mauna Loa, and then he came back to his dad's Aina Hanau, and he's living here now. So we worked together, and we brought in 27 kids, parents, kupuna, and they slept over here just like you guys for 2 days, 2 nights. And we planned, and we learned all the mo'olelo, and then we laid on the floor, and I had a big sheet of paper, and they drew all the inspirational images of all the stories they learned when they were spending the 2 days here. And so I took all these images, and I created a list. And from that list, I had to go, next step was to put all those ideas together. 27 different ideas together, So that was very challenging, and I had to pray, because I only had 2 days to do this. I prayed, and I dreamed. And these images, a lot of images came to me in this dream. And so I came back, and I told Koa, this is what I saw, because he can do the art, but he had a hard time putting all the thoughts together. So we helped each other in those ways. He had strengths that I didn't. So this is what came to us. So this is Hina, the mother of Molokai. And so it's kind of neat, because when you walk in this door, you'll see that she's looking at you like, who are you? When you walk out, like, you guys check them out. It's really cool. She's literally looking at me side-eye like, where you came from? And then when I walk over here, she's looking at me like, oh, okay, I know who you. And then when you come over here, It's as if a mother's looking at her child. It totally changes. And we didn't even plan that. The lei on her head is silver, you know, like hina, hina. All the silvery night tones, we really wanted it to be very hina. This is actually looking out to the pond, yeah, the same view. This is all the mangroves. This is the peninsula where you guys went. Okay, so the traditional name of this peninsula, we call it Kalailoa now, but it's Puhi Ula, the red eel, yeah? And or Ula also means like an expert. So this was the guardian of Keawanui Fish Pond. And so we really took the modern into the traditional. So we kept the mangrove, and then we made it look like a puhi. Yeah? All right, and then this is the makaha. You guys all went out to over there. Go check that out.
Oh, we know the makaha.
Yeah, you guys know the makaha very well. And then we talked about the different stories of hina. So hina has many different forms of hina. But the beautiful thing about the stories of hina is that she is a catalyst of change. She's a spark that makes amazing things happen. And even the word kahina, yeah, means to topple over. And I always use the analogy like a domino. The first domino that falls and makes like all this chain reaction of awesome magic happen. So in all the stories of hina, a lot of times you see she has many, many children. She has many kane, the different forms. But she also makes amazing things happen. So oftentimes she would go to the kane in her life, whether it was her son or her husband, and say, to Ku'ula, go build the first fish pond. Go find makale, the tree makale, and get the sticks from that lama tree and create the first makaha in that, because it will summon the fish. Yeah? And then she had her son, I go and build all the Ku'ula shrines across Hawaii. So she made amazing things happen. In another form of hina, she told her son Maui, Akalana, to capture the sun and how to do it, you know. So we wanted to honor her, and it's just so amazing that she is the mama of this island. Yeah, change, amazing change. Yeah, and the full potential of mankind. So we really wanted to remind everybody of that. Now this is a hali pohaku. Yeah, so Uncle might have explained that all the rocks were passed from backside Molokai to build these fish pond walls. The reason we didn't put any faces on the men, the kanaka that were building it, is because, first of all, the first thought that came to me was like, they've been forgotten. They have been forgotten. Like most people don't even know how the ponds were made. You know, that they actually called upon what percent of the population? A third of the population to construct the ponds. So if Molokai, they estimate or they guesstimate, had what, 750 to 1 million residents in traditional days when the ponds were resurrected 800 years ago. So a third of that? That's a lot of people. That's 250,000 people that came. And you know what? They weren't slaves like Egypt. They did it for Aloha Aina. So we wanted to remember them. We also didn't put the faces there because we wanted every single one of you to see your face in them. Because you're doing their work. You're learning about them and you're remembering them. This is the Ku'ula shrine. So they have a ku, pohaku ku, yeah, this upright rock that represents Ku'ula. And then the kahina, the toppled rock, which represents hina. Ku stands guard over his wahine. And those were built, their son, built these Ku'ula shrines to remind the people because people forgot. People forgot to mahalo. They forgot to say thank you for feeding me every day and giving me fish to feed my family. And so Hina said, they've forgotten. You go and build the Ku'ula and you teach them the protocol and what needs to be done. And so he went and he built all the Ku'ula and he taught the people the protocol and they remembered. Okay? So down below, we have the story of Hina. You want to share the story of when the island was born? And
Down at the fish pond, there's so much more questions than answers. Because we're getting into something that at one time we knew everything about them. And through all the loss, through all the change, we're trying to get back to one place where we understand as much as our kupuna did. And I don't know if we're ever going to reach that in our lifetime, but that's not the point. The point is to start going in that direction. Yeah? So one of the legends we heard was when Hina gave birth to Molokai, She walked along her southern shore, and everywhere her o'o touched, fresh water sprung forth. So being at fish ponds and come to understand that this fish pond is in brackish water environment, most, if not all, of the 68 plus fish ponds that are on the southern shore of Molokai get springs. Because you don't see too much rivers emptying into an local ia. So if had springs, where are they? So this legend, you know, me and Will, we wanted to be the Indiana Jones of Kia'i locals, eh? Like, oh, we're going to chase the legend. We're going to see if that thing true. So a lot of times we stay by the shoreline, cruising, kicking back. And to some people that may seem like, you're not doing nothing. Negative. Hawaiians are experts at observation. Experts. Right? So you like practice observation. So anyway, we saw one trickling, stream of water. And instantly the mind went to the legend. And it instantly went into Indiana Jones mode. Like, oh, we're going to chase this legend. So we tried to dig it out, and sure enough, we found spring. We found the spring. And we started to realize that this is the evidence that when we went to school, they said all of this stuff was myth and fantasy and just stories. Now at 38 years old, and I coming to realize that all of this is more real, more valid than most you learn in school. This thing might even be more important. Remember, this is Mo'olelo that came over millennia that was able to reach our ear. But if it was that important, gotta be based somewhat in truth. Right? So, this and the Punawai swim in is the evidence. They get some Mo'olelo, get some legends that is true. So again, we wanted to highlight this because this is a part, of what Hina did for us. And I don't know if Male,
I'll explain that you didn't, this is Mo'olelo of how it was made, yeah? So what I'm sharing with you is Mo'olelo that I've I decided to major in Hawaiian studies when I was 18. Actually, when I was 16. In 18, I entered Kamakakua Learning Center for Hawaiian Studies. I was actually the first graduating class from there. Very proud of that. Back in the day when we was functioning on skeleton and bones, we hardly had anything, but we made it happen. So a lot was learned there, but I'm telling you, the most of the things that I learned was just real life experience, like now, like right now, like how you guys are experiencing. So, but a few Mo'olelo I actually learned about Molokai because I've been working very closely, and I'm just so blessed in that way with Auntie Luella or Opu'ulani Albino. And we've both been the kumu for Ho'olauna Molokai for 7 years here, working out of Keawanui. And then you got to teach the kids that come from outer islands the Mo'olelo. So after telling it a few hundred times, it becomes a part of you. So this particular Mo'olelo, we would share with the kids that would extend from, after she went hano, the island of Molokai Inuia Hina, she was so beautiful and so, just so perfect. A lot of her keiki, Hina's keiki, had the reputation of being very kolohe. Some of them were born e'epa or deformed for whatever reason. There's so many layers to Mo'olelo. But Molokai was her most perfect child. And so she had to give it everything it needed. And so, of course, what is the first thing you need for life? Vai. And so she walked along the southern coast, and she poked her o'o stick into the ground, and as she did that, water sprung forth. Yeah? So we wanted to have that action happening here, and then we wanted all this great stuff to be shooting out of this punawai. So we have all the kalo, the milo, and then, of course, the ava. Keawanui means the abundance of ava. So there's the ava fish, which we ate in our fish cakes with the o'io, and then we also have the ava that you drink. So Keawanui was known for an abundance of ava mauka and ava kai, plenty. So we have that portrayed here in the awa, just kind of leaping into the umeke. You know, this umeke is attached to an awamo, or a carrying stick. And I decided to put the carrying stick right upon the kuapa, or the wall, because this is their kuleana. This is what they gotta do, and it's not easy. So we put it right along with the kuapa. This was the hardest one for me. We had to have awa mauka and kai. So we have the awa kai over here. And then the awa mauka, I had the kids place where they wanted their images. And the boy who made awa put them up in the sky. And I'm not the type, especially with art. It's like, okay, all right. And then I go home and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have an awa tree in the sky. What am I going to do? Because they had their images drawn and we taped them where they wanted it. I had to pray a lot about that one. And so the next morning, I was awoken by a vision. And the vision was hands pouring out this apu awa, onto the people. Awa is a ceremonial drink that really connects us from those two realms, yeah? The Kanaka, this realm, and the Lani realm. And so I said, Wakea, Wakea. Wakea is the father of Molokai. Wakea will be pouring out this awa so that he can connect with his children, his child. So that's the apu awa poured out by our sky father, Wakea. And then as you move across empty space, you notice this is where Manaya Kalani is going to go. Maui's fish hook, another form of hina, had the son Maui Akalana. And then we also have the mahina. This is a beautiful mahina. It actually glows, yeah? It's pretty cool. So the mahina, another form of hinai kamalama, lives on the mahina. One legend tells us, I don't even like to call it legend, one mo'olelo tells us that she was married to a cruel man, a kanaka, and he beat her. He beat her in front of her children, he beat her day and night, and he didn't let her do anything. And so she had prayed and prayed to be saved. And a rainbow was sent down to her. So this rainbow has dual meanings. A rainbow was sent down to her so that she could escape. And as she climbed onto this rainbow, some say he broke her leg, some say he broke off her leg. But she made it onto the mahina. And there she pounds her kapa cloth. Now, there's certain nights, have you guys ever seen a rainbow around the moon? Yeah. So it's called a kapa luahoano, or luahoano. And it's those nights when you have a rainbow around the moon. And it is believed that is the nights when your kupuna are most close to you. Your lost loved ones, your kupuna are most close to you. So that is our rainbow kapa. And so I think I've covered most of it. But do you guys have any questions? So we really wanted to do this at the beginning so you guys could really look at Keawanui a little bit more different. But at least we got it done before you guys left. So that's it. Mahalo. Mahalo for letting us share.